Welcome everybody. It's Emily here from Right Yoga Space, and we're going to do a 60-minute energizing flow class today. Now, for the class, you may like to have a block. It's always nice to have a block. If you don't have a yoga block, anything like a big book, or even for the class today, like a cushion to sit up onto would be good. And a strap is going to be handy for today, particularly if you've got tight shoulders. If you don't have a strap, obviously you could use something like a belt or a scarf. It's going to be absolutely perfect. So we'll start in a seat today, and you can sit yourself up onto that block or cushion if you like. Have that underneath your sit bones just to help elevate your hips a little bit so that your knees can drop down a little more towards the floor. And then let your hands rest gently onto your lap or your knees. Take a nice big full breath in and a sighing breath out, and you might let your eyes softly close as you start to turn your attention inwards into your space. And as you let your body settle onto the support of the ground underneath you, just taking your attention down into that living land. Wherever you are in the world, taking a moment to connect to that land. And perhaps in your own way, acknowledge and pay gratitude to the first peoples of the land that you're on. And if you're able to name them, you can name them and pay respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. And bringing your focus up into your own body, your own physical body. Noticing as you do that what might be present for you, whether there is strong sensation, and also the energy of that body today, whether you feel tired or full of vitality. Seeing if you can acknowledge those things exactly as they are, as wisdom that your body is telling you. And perhaps becoming grateful for them, for those messages. As you invite in an intention for your practice, perhaps there's a framing of the mind for the class today around celebrating and gratitude for what we have. We so often in our lives are looking to the next thing, to the next action we need to take, looking to grow and become better. And that there's a place for that, and that's really useful. But sometimes we forget to pause and take a rest and actually acknowledge where we are and celebrate that in its many layers. So as we move through our practice today, you can, as always, stay connected to your breath. And any moment that you catch yourself judging yourself or wishing that things were a different way or trying too hard, take a full breath in and a full breath out and come back to this intention. Can you be grateful for where you are right now and the messages that you might be receiving? And start to find a steady rhythm of breath here. It might be that gentle constriction at the back of your throat, Ujjayi breath. Just giving your shoulders a nice big shrug up and back a couple of times. And then gently, when you're ready to, you can let your eyes blink open, and we'll come to all fours. So we're just going to find a tabletop position. You can pop your props to the side for now. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So spreading the fingers nice and wide, letting your belly drop down and your tailbone lift and your chest lift. Maybe the eye gaze slightly looking up. And then exhaling and rounding your spine. And finding that fluid movement with your breath now, inhaling to open up the front of your body, exhaling as you press the floor away and round through the back body. And just do 2 more on your own. And as you make these movements, you can really check in with the spine, the hips and the shoulders. Notice what you're feeling today. Coming back to neutral spine, you might like to take a few circles here, circling your hips round in one direction. Again, using this as a little litmus test to how the body's feeling, changing directions, moving back the other way. And let's come to a downward facing dog from here. So the hands might creep a little bit more forwards, make sure they're shoulder distance apart, softening the elbow joint as you press the floor away with your hands and lift your hips up and back. And again, we're just taking a little bit of gentle movement here, bending one knee and drawing the opposite heel to the floor so that you can start to explore what's happening in the backs of your legs. Maybe the calves, the ankles, the hamstrings. Noticing how things are feeling in your shoulders and your wrists. Maybe swaying the hips a little from side to side and exploring some side bending action. And then from there, let's come down onto the knees again. And just taking your hands and turning them outwards, so externally rotating your fingers. And you might even be able to bring them so that the fingers point all the way back towards your knees. And as you do that, maybe leaning back a little way, just stretching out through the forearms. Swaying a little bit side to side and forwards and back. Maybe again a few little circles here. And then bringing your hands back around again. As you bring them back around, you can just take one hand off the ground and give it a little roll in a circle. And then again the other one, spreading the hands as if you were creating this little gecko action so that you were going to stick yourself to the wall with your hands. Pressing down through the rims of the palms, lift back up into downward facing dog. Let's from there take the right leg up towards the sky. So you can always drop down to your left knee if this feels too much today. And then from there we're going to shift forwards and bring the right knee towards the chest. Inhale your leg to the sky. And exhale, bringing the knee to the chest. And then one more time, lift the leg up. And knee to chest, and then step the foot forward between your hands. You can drop down to the back knee here if you like, or keep it lifted. Left hand down, right hand peels up into a twist. So anchoring down through the feet so that you're supported. Left buttock squeezing gently and reaching your right fingertips up. Let's take both hands down again. Step your way back, find downward facing dog. Just watch as you reset your downward facing dog, that you haven't collapsed and you haven't kind of hyper extended your arms or your legs. You're still nice and supported. Left leg lifts up, inhale. Shift forwards, left knee to the chest. Inhale the leg to the sky. And then shifting forwards, knee to chest. One more, leg to the sky. And then shifting forwards, taking the foot through between the hands, either back knee on the ground or lifted. Take your left hand up, reaching those fingertips up. So pressing the floor away with your right hand and your feet. Full breath in. Full breath out, hand down. Step your way back, downward facing dog. And then from there, just bring your knees down to the ground and find child. So sink your hips back to your heels. Slide your hands forwards, letting your forehead rest onto the floor. Just giving your head a little roll from side to side as you find this child's. One more breath there. You can always come back here whenever you need to. And let's make our way back into downward facing dog. It's time, bend the knees and look forwards towards your hands. Step your feet all the way to the front of the mat. Take a halfway lift there. And then forward folding, letting your head relax down. We'll slowly roll all the way to stand. So you can always walk your hands up your legs if you need to, or just rolling up with nice strong legs. Sweep your hands to the sky, reach up. And then bring the hands down through the center line. And we'll come into mountain. So feet underneath your hips, grounding down through all four corners of your feet. Soften your knees. You might bend and straighten them a couple of times. Lift up through the top of your head. Let's take an inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And then catching hold of your left wrist, take a side bend over. So grounding through both feet. Start to stretch out through that left side of the body. So you want to lift up through the inner arches and inner thighs. Inhale back to center. And then side bending in the other direction. The lower ribs stay drawn in as you reach up and over. And then back to center. And then we'll come down through forward fold. So softening the knees as you fold. Halfway lift, so lift your chest and draw your heart forwards. And then step your feet all the way back into plank. So the feet are back, the shoulders are over the wrists. And then we're gonna lower the knees down to the ground. Bend your elbows, keep your chest nice and broad as you lower to the floor. Bring your fingertips out to the outside of your mat and lift your elbows and press into the tops of your feet. Let's take an inhale and lift the chest up. So coming into this wide arm cobra. And then lowering your chest back down again. And then hands back under the shoulders, press up to knees, and then back to downward facing dog. So listening in to the body, you can always find child's here instead of down dog if you like. You don't have to come through those flows. We're going to bend the knees and look forwards. Step your feet to the front of the mat, lift your chest, and then fold all the way down, letting the head, back of your neck relax. Roll yourself all the way to stand, sweeping up, reaching up, and then hands to the heart. Let's inhale, reach your hands up. Side bend again, you can take the same version, or this time interlace your fingers, release your index fingers. Press into your feet, take a side bend along that left side of the body. It's a bit harder with the hands squeezed together. Keep breathing. And then inhale all the way back up again. And exhale the other way. So side bending, making sure that you don't sway over to the side. You want to keep anchoring down through that right foot. And then back to center. Release your hands, come down through forward fold. Halfway lift, heart draws forward, stepping both feet back to plank. And let's just take a moment, if you like, you can stay on your toes. So pressing the floor away with your hands. Feel the space between your shoulder blades lift up to the sky. Look forwards. And then lower down. So the knees can come down first as you lower, chest nice and broad. This time keeping your hands under your shoulders as you untuck your toes and lift your chest. And keep drawing your heart forwards as you lift. So lifting up through the back of the heart. And then pressing all the way back to find downward facing dog again. Take a full breath in and out here. And bend your knees, look forward, step your feet to the front of the mat. Lift your chest and then fold. Rolling all the way to stand, sweep up, reach up. And hands to your heart. We're going to do just one more round of our Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Stepping your feet all the way back to plank. Lowering down, if you can, one straight line along the length of your body, lowering to the floor on your knees or toes. Lift your chest, inhale. And then back to downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Let's bend the knees, look forward, step your feet all the way to the front of the mat. Lift your chest halfway. Exhale, fold forwards. And this time let's come to chair. So you're going to sink the hips down and back and sweep your hands up. So drawing your tailbone down as you lift your chest without letting the lower ribs poke out. Take a breath in there. Exhale, stand up, bring hands to your heart. Let's take a full breath in and out in mountain. And we'll come down into chair again. Inhale. Exhale, find forward fold. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Step your feet all the way back to plank. You can come straight to downward facing dog now if you like, or you can move through a little vinyasa here, lowering down, lifting up into cobra, maybe upward facing dog with the hips lifted, rolling back to downward facing dog as you exhale. And let's from here step the right foot forwards between your hands, ground your left heel and come up into warrior one, so reaching your hands all the way up. It's finding that shape with the hips and shoulders facing towards the front, so your feet about hips distance apart. Let your eyes, let your shoulders soften. And then from there, we'll take hands to the hips and straighten your right leg. We're just going to come down through a little forward fold. As you do that, just bring your weight into that front foot so that you've got space to draw your right hip back. And folding either halfway or coming all the way down. You might like to use a block to rest your hands onto. And you can keep a little bend through your right knee. Nice full breath in. Exhale it out. Bend the front knee, lift yourself all the way back up again, so grounding through the feet as you reach up. And then let's take hands to the earth and step back to find down dog. If you want to keep energizing and keep flowing, you can shift forwards, lower down through chaturanga, lifting your chest up into your back bend, and then pressing back again into downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards between your hands, come up into your warrior one, grounding through the outside edge of your back foot and the big toe mound of your front foot. And then let's straighten the left leg, hands to the hips. Draw that left hip back. As you shift forward, the weight slightly into that front foot. Just keeping the hips nice and square. Keep the lower ribs drawn in, folding forwards. Maybe the hands come down as you fold over your front leg. And for pyramid or Parsvottanasana. And then let's bend the front knee, press into the feet all the way back up again, reach your hands up, and then hands to the mat, stepping back, down dog. So flowing here if you want to. Depending on how much you want to raise the heart rate here, the heat in the body. And then from our downward facing dog, we're just going to bring the knees down to the mat for a moment. Come down onto your forearms and we'll take a forearm plank. So the hands pressing down into the ground, the forearms pressing the floor away. Extend your left leg and then your right leg behind you. See if you can find a nice long line between the top of your head and your heels. Keep the lower ribs drawing in, keep pressing the floor away. You might look slightly forwards, keeping your neck nice and long. In through the nose, out through the nose, keep breathing. One more. And then bring your knees down to the earth. Just let your hips slide back and stretch out through your arms and your spine. Nice, full breath in. Full breath out, let the shoulders relax. Let's come back up. One more time. Forearms down. Pressing the floor away. And if it's too much for your shoulders, just stay on your knees. Otherwise, extending the feet back behind you, finding forearm plank. Looking slightly forwards towards your hands. Just a little option here. You might play with taking the heels over towards the right side. And then back to center. And then over to the left side. So we're doing a little bit of core activation through the center of the body. One more on each side. Keep breathing. Keep pressing the floor away. Back to center. And then knees down onto the ground. Bring your hips back behind you. Extend out through your spine. Extend out through your arms and let the shoulders relax. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your nose. As best you can. Come up to all fours. Spread the hands. Press back, downward facing dog. Notice how this downward facing dog feels now. Let's bend the knees, look forwards to the hands. Step your feet all the way to the front, halfway lift. And then folding. I'm going to come down into a chair, so sink your hips, sweep your hands up, standing up, bringing the hands to the heart, just lifting up through the top of your head. Let your hands rest down beside you, take a breath. Let's take an inhale, hands reaching all the way to the sky. We're going to bring the right arm underneath the left arm, so wrapping your arms, and then wrapping the forearms, bringing the hands together. So eagle arms. You can have the hands wrapped around your body if this isn't available. Let's sink down, so if you're sitting in a chair, and then wrap your left leg over the top of your right leg. So finding your balance. You can take the toes behind the calf, or you can just take them towards the floor. Bringing your knees and your elbows into the center line. And really squeezing everything in towards the midline. Take your eye gaze past your fingers. One more breath. And from there, we're going to come into a transition through warrior three. So you're going to lift your left knee off your right leg, and then extend that leg back behind you, seeing if you can do it without tapping the toe, but tapping the toe if you need to. Draw your heart forwards, and then turn the toes out and press step back into your warrior one. You can release your arms, take your hands up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, draw the elbows down and back. Inhaling, reaching up, pressing into your feet. And exhaling, elbows down and back. Just watch that the hips kind of draw towards the front and you're anchoring through your feet. One more time. Draw your elbows back. Take your hands back behind you. Interlace the fingers and draw your chest open. You can stay here or you can bow forwards for humble warrior. It's making sure that as you do that, you don't tip the hips out to the sides. You want to keep the hips in line, and then just folding the chest on the inside of your right leg. So we're still strengthening through that right glute. Bowing your heart down towards the earth. And humility. And then pressing into your feet, release your hands, reach them all the way up again, stretch tall. And then hands down to the mat. Step your way back to downward facing dog. And you can come through a little vinyasa, a little flow here if you like, shifting forwards to plank, lowering down on knees or toes. Lift into your back bend. Drawing the heart forwards and then pressing back to downward facing dog. Let's bend the knees and look forwards to your hands. Step your feet to the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Sink your hips deep and come to chair. So sinking the hips down and back, hands reaching up. And then bring your feet together. And we'll take a chair twist, so hands to the heart. We're going to twist over to your right side, so taking your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. And just watching that the hips don't shift to the left, so keeping your hips in center, squeezing the inner thighs together. Lifting your torso away from your thighs and then drawing the chest towards the hands. And keep breathing. You might feel quite strong sensation in the legs here. Feel those working. Can you keep your breath nice and smooth? And then coming back to center, take a forward fold, just separating your feet for a moment. And then from there, press into the feet and slowly roll yourself all the way to stand. We're going to come into a balance just again on this side, so grounding into your right foot, lift your left knee up. And you can take hold of the knee with the hand, right hand to your hip, really anchoring down through that standing leg, spreading your toes. Find something to focus on in front of you. And if you can, you could extend that left leg out in front of you, take hold of the foot. One more breath here. And then releasing, taking the foot down to the floor to have a little bend and straighten of the legs, maybe a shake of your hips. Shaking out the feet. We'll come to eagle on the other side. So hands reaching all the way up, left arm underneath the right arm, wrapping your arms and hands towards the face. Take your weight this time into your left foot and cross your right leg over the top. Finding neutral with the elbows and the knees, so finding that center line. And balancing on that standing leg. And squeezing your inner thighs towards each other. And then keep pressing down through your left foot, so really anchor it. Unravel your right leg and take that leg back behind you, seeing if you can extend the heel away from you without the toe touching on the floor. Keep the lower ribs drawn in. Turn your right toes out, step back, find warrior one. Unravel your arms, take them up, inhale. And then as you exhale, draw those elbows down and back, opening your chest. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, draw the elbows down and back. One more like that. Really anchor down through your feet. And then hands back behind you. Maybe a different interlace of the fingers this time. Keep the feet grounded, legs strong as you fold on the inside of your left leg. Letting your head bow down, letting your heart bow to the floor. Keep breathing. Rolling your shoulders open. And then releasing your hands all the way down to the earth. We'll step all the way back to plank, lowering down through chaturanga or coming straight back to downward facing dog. A little sway of the hips from side to side perhaps. From there, bending your knees, looking forward, step your feet to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And then sink your hips deep, find chair. Or heel toe the feet together, bring your hands to your heart, and then twist over to the left side. So taking a moment just to really settle your feet, bring the weight slightly back into the heels, draw up through the inner arches of your feet and your inner thighs, and then twisting. And if you can't hook the elbow, the hand can come to the knee and the other hand to the hip. Really press your torso away from your thighs and sink your hips down a little deeper if you can. Breathing in and out through your nose, one more breath in. And then as you exhale, forward fold. Taking your feet to about hips distance apart. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to fold. Let's roll all the way up to stand. Rolling up and reaching up, and then again taking the weight into your left foot, lifting your right knee up, taking your hand to your knee, other hand to the hip, flex the toes. Option to take the leg out in front of you and catch hold of the foot, if that's available. Full breath in, full breath out, and then release. Take the foot all the way down towards the floor. Just give your legs a little bend and straighten, little shake at the hips. Land back in mountain. Take an inhale. Full exhale. Let's come back to chair, sinking the hips down and back. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Stepping both feet all the way back to plank. Either from there, finding your downward facing dog, or coming through another flow. Meeting back in downward facing dog, we'll take the right leg up towards the sky. Bend your right knee, draw the heel to the buttock, and then open that right knee up to the sky. Square your hips, send your right foot through between your hands. Come up into lunge, so bending the back knee and pressing up. Reach your hands up. And then let's open warrior two. So back heel grounds, that right knee stays over the ankle, reach your arms out to the sides. Really notice where your body is in space. So where are the arms, where are the shoulders, where are your ribs. We'll turn the right palm to the sky, take a nice big reach back in reverse warrior, and then back to warrior two. And then again, reaching that right hand back, keeping the legs nice and strong, back to warrior two. And then we'll take the right elbow down to the right thigh and the left arm up and over for side angle. So stretching out all the way along that left side of the body. You can take your right hand down if you like towards a block or to the floor. And an option here to explore taking the left hand behind your back and wrapping it around, so finding this half bind. If you can take the full bind here, your right hand can come off the ground or the block and wrap underneath your right thigh. And so see if you can catch hold of the hand behind you. That might not be possible. Keep the chest opening as you do that. Perhaps looking up. Taking another breath, trying to break free of that bind. And then releasing, coming back up to warrior two. Take a reverse warrior. And then keep the movement going in that same direction. So turning yourself all the way to the left side of your mat. Turn your toes out and your heels in, and then bend your knees. Just come into a goddess squat here. Hands at your heart. Drawing your tailbone down towards the floor. Pressing into all four corners of your feet. And close your eyes and breathe here, really feeling that strength building in your legs. Maybe shifting your perspective if you need to about what's happening here. And then straighten your legs. You might be celebrating that. Turn your right toes forwards again, left toes back in. Bend the knees, come to warrior two. And the right knee, sorry. Take a reverse warrior, right hand reaching up and back. And then windmilling your hands all the way down to the ground. Step your way back, downward facing dog. Let's come down onto our knees, bring our forearms down. Come to dolphin, so pressing your forearms into the earth like we did in our forearm plank. This time we'll tuck the toes under and lift the knees and draw your chest towards your thighs. Maybe walking the feet a little closer towards your elbows as you lift your tailbone up. Full breath in, full breath out. One more. Bring your knees down. Sink your hips back to your heels. Let your arms relax. Maybe even bringing them down by your sides. Let's bring the hands forwards again, coming forwards again to downward facing dog. Take your left leg to the sky. Draw the heel to the buttock, open your left knee up, opening that hip up. Keep pressing through both hands. And then square the hips and the left foot through, come up high lunge, grounding through the feet as you reach up. And we'll open warrior two on the other side. From there, take your left palm, reach it up, reverse warrior. And back to warrior two. And again, reaching up and back. And back to warrior two. We'll find side angle on the other side now. So left elbow down on that left thigh. That's where you might stay, and you might just keep your right hand on your hip and keep rolling that right shoulder open. Lower ribs draw in. So you could stay with this. You can reach the right hand up and over your head. If you can keep that length through your spine and that openness through your chest and deepen, you could take your hand down towards the floor. You might even use that arm to encourage your left knee to stay over the ankle. And perhaps the right hand wraps behind your back and the left hand comes through. Just options. See if you can be okay with where you are in this little journey of the shape. Keep breathing. If you're in the bind, imagine you're breaking free of it so you can open your chest even more. ground through your feet. And then release, come all the way back up again. Take your right hand up and back. And then let's windmill the hands all the way down to the mat. Step your way back to find your downward facing dog, maybe flowing, or it could be just some sways of the hips from side to side. And we'll come down onto the knees and take one more round of dolphin. So elbows, forearms down, pressing into your forearms, firming through the shoulders so the inner armpits draw towards each other, and then lifting your hips up and back. Lift your tailbone to the sky this time. You might lift one leg off the floor. And place the foot back down again. And then the other leg up, lifting up from your center. And placing the foot back down. And then knees down, hips back to heels. Let your head relax down, let your shoulders relax down. You might sway a little bit from side to side here. Let's roll up to sit on the knees. So if you have sensitive knees, you may want to sit on a block. If you'd like to explore a little stretch through your toes, you might tuck your toes under and sit on your heels that way. And this is where you may like your strap or your scarf. So we're going to take our cow face arms. Right hand's going to reach up first, so stretching that hand towards the sky and encouraging the right elbow to point upwards as you let your hand drop down. So if you want to use the strap, you can hold the strap in that right hand, encourage the strap down your back. Left hand, we just create this little kind of dragon wing action as you draw the shoulder blade onto the back of the heart, and then take your right hand behind you, either holding onto the hand or taking hold of your strap behind your back. You can stand up on the knees if you need to, so you can lengthen the whole way down your spine, opening up the chest. We want to avoid as much kind of shoulder blade winging action as we can, so that we're actually strengthening the back of the heart and opening through the front of the chest. Take another breath. And then releasing your hands. If you were sitting on your toes, you might want to untuck them and sit back down onto the heels, give them a little rest. And we'll take the other side. So if you want to come back onto the toes, you're welcome to. Left hand lifts up and then just draws down your back. You can use your other hand to kind of encourage that opening through the front of the tricep, or the back of the tricep, whatever we want to call that, and create this little dragon action, dragon wing action. We're really drawing the shoulder blade onto the back of the heart here before we take the hand behind, and then resetting the shoulder blade. So you're opening across your collarbones. As you do that, just watch whether you start to poke your ribs out and round through your lower back, arch the lower back. So keep that core engaged too. And then opening up through your chest, you can walk your hands a little closer towards each other on that strap or that scarf. Take 2 more breaths here. One more. Gently release. Take your strap off to the side. Just have it close to the front of your mat so that you might want to use it again. We're going to roll the shoulders up and back a couple of times. And then we'll make our way back into downward facing dog. So spreading the fingers wide, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Noticing how this downward facing dog feels now, perhaps compared to the one at the start. I'm going to bend the knees and look forward, step your feet all the way to the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold with the feet about hips distance apart. And if you like, you could take your hands to your elbows and just take a little sway from side to side here. Let your shoulders relax. If you need to, take your hands onto a block in forward fold. You can always take your hands there for a bit of extra support. So we're going to explore a little bit of binding and balancing here in a bird of paradise shape. So we're going to be taking our left hand underneath our left leg. So taking that arm underneath and the right hand wrapping behind your back. We're going to attempt to take a bind here. So if you could take it in the side angle, then you might find this easy. If you want to use a strap, the option is there to use the strap. So taking the strap into your left hand and then taking hold of the strap underneath your left leg with your left hand. So right hand's wrapped behind the back and then the left hand comes around to hold the strap or the hand. From there, we're going to take the weight into the right foot and start just to lift your heel of your left foot. And that might be where you stay. So you might really just explore pressing down through the right foot for balance and then just lifting that heel and then just exploring if you can take the weight into your right leg and lift the left foot off the floor. So again, you might just be tapping the foot. If you want to come all the way up into bird of paradise, if you can, grounding through that standing leg and lifting your left leg all the way up. My balance is struggling today. And from there, if you can, you might be able to extend the left leg. So you might be able to take the leg out to the side. Keep breathing. One more breath. Wherever you are, and then slowly coming back down again, taking the foot to the floor, releasing the strap, give your arms a little roll, give your shoulders a roll, and come back down into that forward fold. You might bend one knee and sway the hips to the other side. Just easing out through your legs and your hips. I'm going to take that on the other side. So this time the right hand is going to thread underneath your right leg so you can bend that right knee. Take your left hand back behind you, taking hold of the hands or the strap. So open your chest, looking down towards the floor. You can start to lift the heel of the right foot. That might be where you stay today. If you can lift up, ground through the left foot and lift up onto the toes. Again, that might be where you stay. And then if you can come up even further, you ground through that standing leg, lift all the way up. Balancing on your left leg, maybe the right leg extends. Full breaths in and out. One more breath. And then slowly coming down, releasing your bind, releasing your body down over the legs. Take a halfway lift, inhale. As you exhale, step your way all the way back to foam plank. We'll lower down slowly to our bellies, so knees down, lowering your body, slinking your body down to the floor, and it might feel really nice. Is to take your hands underneath your head or your arms beside you, one ear to the mat, and just letting your hips rock from side to side. It's a challenging shape, so wherever you got to with that is brilliant. Seeing if you can celebrate whatever your body can do today. Let's do one spine strengthening shape from here. So hands down beside your body. We'll come to locust, so the chin can come to the mat. I'm going to lift the chest, the arms, and the legs if you can, spreading your toes, keeping your neck nice and long. And if you can take the hands behind you and interlace them, and then open your chest even more. See if you can use that action to lift your chest and your legs up, lengthening through the back of your neck. Take 2 more breaths here if you can. One more, lifting up a little higher. And then slowly lowering down, taking your hands down beside you, taking one ear to the mat, just giving your hips a little shake from side to side again. Noticing how your body feels as you release that spine strengthening shape. Maybe there's a rush of energy up the spine. Maybe you can sense some little sensitivities that might be some wisdom that your body's trying to tell you. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders and start to press your way back. Slowly into child, so sinking your hips all the way back towards your heels. And again, you might just let your arms relax there, or you could take them down beside you. Letting the spine move in the other direction. And I'm going to come up to all fours from here. So make your way into a tabletop position. From there, you could come to downward facing dog if you like. We're going to come into pigeon. So the right knee behind the right wrist first, extending that right foot to the left side of the mat. If you want to come onto your back and take eye of the needle instead, that's an option for you without having the gravity and the body pressing onto the knee joint. That would be coming onto your back and crossing your right ankle onto your thigh, either staying there or drawing the left leg towards you. So you can explore which shape works in your body today. If you're in pigeon and there's a little bit of pressure in your knee, you can support that by taking a block or a cushion underneath your right hip. And then from there, if you feel like you can come forwards, you might intensify the sensation by bringing your body weight forwards. Maybe the hands come forwards and you let your head relax down. And finding full, smooth breaths here. Again, dropping in to feel the sensation in your body. Noticing how you frame that in your mind, whether there's a real sense of aversion to discomfort. Whether you can see this as a sense of opening and creating space through the body, where there might be tightness and stuckness. And the breath can really help with that. Smooth breaths in, smooth breaths out. On your next inhale, walk your hands back towards you, press into the hands a little ways, and then bring yourself back to find your either all fours or down dog. You might want to take a few circles with the hips here. And we'll come to the other side. So if you're on your back, you can stay on your back if you like for the other side. You might choose to come to your back on this side if you've got a knee injury on the left side. Or if there's sensitivity with that right knee on the floor behind you, you can always prop under that too. Making your way forwards if you're going there. And we're staying for 5 or 10 breaths, so settling into that. Starting to slow that breath down a lot more now. You can start to bring yourself back up again, hands coming up towards you. This time we'll just shift the weight over to the left side and come to a seat. So if you're on your back, you can gently make your way up into a seat. And extend your right leg in front of you and draw your left foot to the inside of your right leg. So as we come into Janu Shirshasana, this seated forward fold, if you've got any instability or pain in your lower back, first thing could be to sit up on something. So you might sit yourself up onto a block and create a little bit more space through your hips. being really mindful not to fold forwards and pull on any pain or sensitivity there. So extending your right leg out. If you're going to come forwards, you could choose to come forwards just straight between the legs, or you can turn yourself towards that outstretched leg and fold forwards over it, maybe catching hold of the foot if that's there. You could even use your scarf or your strap around your foot. And walking your hands all the way back towards you. You're going to do a little side plank wild thing, taking your left hand behind you, press into that hand and press into your left shin and really draw up through your inner thighs and your lower belly. So you lift your hips, a glute squeeze too, opening your chest and reaching your right hand up and over. So big stretch for the front of the body there. And then lower your hips back down again, nice and slowly. And then from there, we're going to cross that left leg over the top of the right leg. So you're going to come into a bit of a twist here. You want to keep your sit bones grounded and your spine lifting up nice and tall. So if here is where you stay, that's perfect. If you'd like to tuck your right heel towards your left buttock and you can still keep your sit bones on the ground, then you could stay with that. And then taking the left hand back behind you to support your spine to lift long and tall. If you need a bit more height, you could take your hand onto a block. Some of us have shorter arms than others. And then hugging that left knee towards you, or taking the elbow to the outside of the thigh and finding that little bind to twist a little further. And if you've been exploring some other binds in the practice today and you feel like you can maintain this lift through your spine and release your left hand from the ground, you can take that hand behind your body, and then perhaps the right hand threads through the left leg and catches hold of the left fingers, or the wrist even. Keep your right shoulder rolling open and your twisting towards that left side. Full breath in, full breath out. Release your hands if you're in a bind, and then unravel yourself, and you can unravel and just twist a little bit in the other direction. And then we'll unwind the legs. Take your legs all the way out in front of you and just stretch them out in front. You might give them a little bit of a wheel and a shake. And we're going to prepare to come into Janu Shirshasana, the seated head to knee forward fold on the other side. So right foot coming in towards your left leg. Inhaling your hands up. Remember, you can find that extra height through your sit bones if you need to. And then if it feels okay for your back, folding forwards over that left leg. Hands can be resting on the floor, or you could even explore taking a strap around your left foot. And holding onto the strap as you forward fold. And we'll take one more full breath here. And walk your hands back towards you, taking your right hand behind you. Press into that hand, press into the left heel and the right shin, lift your hips, squeeze your buttocks. Left hand coming up and over as you lift your chest. Breathing in. Breathing out, and then slowly lowering back down. Ground the sit bones. Take your right foot over the top of your left, and you want to ground that right foot as well on the floor. So it's now on the left side of your body, it's still your right foot. Tuck your left heel in if you can keep the sit bones on the ground. And we'll take the right hand behind your body and lift your chest up. Again, take the hand to the block if you need to. Maybe left hand to the outside of your right thigh. And lift up through the top of your head, and turning your chest towards that right side if you can. And then that optional bind, taking the right hand behind your body, left hand underneath. This side might be easier or more difficult than the other side. Keep breathing. then unraveling your body all the way. Little counter twist in the other direction. And then legs unraveling. Take them all the way out in front of you, extending the heels away from you. Maybe just a little forward fold over both legs if that feels good. And from there we're going to roll down onto our back, so you can use your hands to support you. You might bend your knees as you come down, rolling the spine down. Have your block with you, or a cushion if you've got a cushion, pillow, anything that's just going to give your hips a little bit of height. We're just going to come into a supported bridge here, nice and relaxed. So pressing into the feet, lift your hips up. You can slide that block underneath your sacrum, so the nice flat part at the just above your tailbone. You might have the block on the medium edge if that feels nice. So letting your hips relax down into that support. Your arms can rest down beside you. Letting your eyes softly close perhaps. Still nice smooth breaths in and out through your nose. And we'll stay here for about another 3 or 4 breaths. And slowly bringing yourself out of this shape, you can press into your feet. Just squeeze the buttocks a little to lift your hips off the block. And then rolling your spine down nice and slowly, keeping the knees over the ankles. See if you can feel each vertebra as they settle back down onto the ground. There might be some cricks and cracks as you do that. And then from there, you can just let your knees knock in towards each other, your feet wide, just letting the pelvis settle back down onto the ground again. And hugging your knees in towards your chest, give them a big squeeze in towards you. An opportunity here to take any last little movements or shapes that you feel that your body needs. Maybe there's a big stretch out of the legs to the sides, or an extra little twist you might like, or a happy baby. Just listening into your body's messages. And then when you're ready to, you can let your legs extend long, come into Shavasana. So if you've got a cushion or a pillow bolster close by, you might like to place that underneath your knees, letting your lower back soften. The hands can rest a little away from your body. It's rolling your shoulder blades underneath you. Making any other adjustments that you need to be super comfortable here. So if you need to place a blanket over you or find an eye pillow, I'm going to be here for a few minutes, just letting the practice really settle in your body. You might like to take a full breath in and sigh your breath out. Just doing that a couple of times. Allowing your breath to encourage your body to relax even deeper into the floor. And then you can allow that breath just to fall into its own rhythm. Allowing your body to breathe itself as it does so often. And perhaps continuing to watch that rhythm, that cycle of breath. Feeling the nourishing air, fresh air come in to your body, filling up, sending it where it's needed. And watching the breath release again from your body, knowing that it's taking that waste air, that carbon dioxide with it. Perhaps a little mini celebration of the breath with each moment. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So in your own time, you can start to bring a little more wakefulness back into your body. And if you have the time and space to, you're so welcome to stay here in Shavasana and just close your practice there. If you are ready to move, you can bring your knees to your chest and roll yourself to one side. Just resting a moment there. And then use your hands to support you. Come all the way up into a seat, finding a comfortable seat for you. And then letting the palms of your hands come together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, this gesture of offering and of gratitude. Letting yourself bring back to mind your intention for your practice. Seeing if you can let that infuse your being. Allowing yourself to fully appreciate your uniqueness. Allowing yourself to fully belong here exactly as you are. And you might like to offer that same intention, that same energy out to someone else in the world that might need it today. And we'll close off with the sound Om together. You can listen or you can join in. Taking a full breath in. Om. Bring your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows, that connection with your deepest wisdom, to your heart for your connection with all those around you, and then a deep bow forwards to honour your connection with the earth. And thank you so much for practicing with me today in this energizing flow. If you have any questions at all, please do drop us a message at Bright Yoga Space, and happy to discuss your practice with you. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.